Love is the true essence of Christmas, not just a seasonal feeling, but a lifestyle rooted in divine purpose and daily action. It is not a fleeting emotion wrapped up in lights and festivities, nor is it something to be celebrated once a year and then forgotten. True love, the kind that Christmas was meant to reveal, is a commitment, a constant, an everyday decision to live for something greater than ourselves. It is the heartbeat of heaven pulsing through the veins of humanity. When love becomes the core of how we live, Christmas is no longer an event on a calendar. It becomes the reality we walk in daily. When love is reduced to a seasonal emotion, it loses its power. It becomes shallow, momentary, easily swayed by circumstance. But when love is understood as a lifestyle, it becomes a force that nothing can break. It is steadfast when emotions fluctuate. It is resilient when feelings waver. It is powerful when situations are uncertain. This love does not depend on the kindness of others or the environment around us. It is rooted in divine purpose, the very reason we were created, the very image in which we were made. The story of Christmas reminds us that love entered the world in humility, not in grandeur. It came quietly, not forcefully. It came in vulnerability, not in domination. It came not to be served, but to serve. Love is not about what we can get, but about what we can give. It is not about being recognized, but about recognizing the value in others. It is not about being loved first, but choosing to love first. Living a life of love means waking up every day with the decision to be kind even when kindness is not returned. It means choosing patience even when you are tired and frustrated. It means offering forgiveness even when it is not asked for. It means extending grace even when judgment would be easier. Love as a lifestyle is inconvenient. It stretches us beyond our comfort zones. It calls us to lay down our pride, our selfishness, and our need for control. Christmas teaches us that true love initiates. It steps toward the broken, not away from them. It embraces the hurting, not condemns them. It includes the outcast, not rejects them. Love sees beyond flaws and failures and recognizes the divine worth inside every soul. Love does not wait for people to deserve it. Love gives because it is the nature of love to give. When love becomes our lifestyle, we become the hands and feet of the message of Christmas. We become evidence that heaven still touches earth. We become living testimonies that light still overcomes darkness. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every gesture of forgiveness becomes a declaration that love wins. Every time we choose to love, we push back against the cynicism, the division, the despair that seeks to dominate the human experience. Love, as a lifestyle, changes not only those around us, but also changes us. It transforms our hearts, softens our rough edges, deepens our compassion, and broadens our understanding. We begin to see people not as obstacles or threats, but as opportunities to reflect the heart of God. We begin to live not from a place of scarcity, wondering if we will have enough love to give, but from a place of abundance, knowing that divine love is infinite and unending. The true essence of Christmas invites us into a way of being that is radical, countercultural, and revolutionary. It invites us to love those who are hard to love, to serve those who can give us nothing in return, to forgive those who may never apologize, to hope even when hope seems foolish. This kind of love is not sentimental, it is powerful. It is not passive, it is active. It changes atmospheres. It shifts hearts. It heals brokenness. Christmas love is not measured by how beautifully we decorate our homes, but by how intentionally we open our hearts. It is not proven by how much we spend, but by how much we give of ourselves. It is not displayed by how much we celebrate, but by how much we carry the spirit of love into every day after. True love does not expire on December 26th. True love does not get packed away with the ornaments. True love grows stronger with every opportunity to give when it costs us something, to forgive when it hurts, and to hope when it seems impossible. True love is not reactive, it is proactive. It does not wait for ideal conditions to manifest itself. It steps into the mess, into the brokenness, into the pain, and brings light. When love becomes the root from which we live, everything else begins to change. Our relationships deepen, our communities strengthen, our influence expands, our lives begin to bear fruit that endures. The world is desperate for real love, not the counterfeit love that demands and manipulates, but the pure love that gives and heals. Love lived out daily, it looks like noticing the invisible. It looks like listening without judgment. It looks like giving second chances and third and fourth ones too. It looks like believing in people when they have stopped believing in themselves. It looks like sacrificing time, energy, and comfort to lift someone else higher. Every time we choose to live in love, we become part of the divine plan to redeem and restore the world. We become part of the great story that began in Bethlehem, but continues in every heart willing to say yes to the lifestyle of love. We carry forward the torch of hope. We bear witness to the reality that love is still the most powerful force in the universe. The message of Christmas calls us to something greater than ourselves. It calls us to be vessels of the same love that came down so humbly and yet so powerfully. It calls us to be a light in dark places, a shelter in storms, a balm for the wounded. Love that is lived out daily is not dependent on external circumstances, but on internal conviction. It is not swayed by the opinions of others, but anchored in the eternal truth of who we are and who we are called to be. We are not called to love because it is easy. We are called to love because it is necessary. We are called to love because it is the only thing powerful enough to break the chains of hate, fear, and despair. We are called to love because that is how we reflect the very nature of the divine. Christmas is the annual reminder that love wins, that love has already conquered the greatest darkness, that love is alive and well in every heart that chooses to live it out. Love is not a feeling to be chased. It is a calling to be answered. It is not a moment to be experienced. It is a mission to be embraced. Every day is an opportunity to live out the message of Christmas. Every conversation is a chance to speak life. Every interaction is a chance to sow seeds of hope. Every challenge is a chance to demonstrate the power of love in action. When we live a lifestyle of love, we become part of the answer to the prayers of the world. We become the proof that peace is possible, that kindness still matters, that compassion is not weakness, but strength. We become the living, breathing message of Christmas in a world desperate for something real. Love is the language of heaven. It is the currency of eternity. It is the most precious gift we can give and the most powerful legacy we can leave. When all is said and done, it is not our accomplishments that will matter most, but the love we lived, the lives we touched, the hope we inspired. Christmas is not just a date. It is a doorway into a way of life. It is an invitation to let love define us, guide us, and flow through us. It is an invitation to be part of something greater than ourselves, to be part of the ongoing story of redemption, restoration. Let every day be Christmas by the way you love. Let every word be a gift. Let every act be an offering. Let every moment be a reflection of the love that first found you. You are called to be a carrier of love. You are called to be a reflection of the divine. You are called to live a life that testifies that Christmas is not a memory, but a living, breathing reality. Choose love today. Choose love tomorrow. Choose love when it's easy and when it's hard. Choose love when it's seen and when it's hidden. Choose love When it's celebrated and when it's rejected, choose love, because that is what you were made for. In choosing love daily, you honor the true essence of Christmas. In choosing love daily, you fulfill your divine purpose. In choosing love daily, you change the world one heart at a time. Living out the message of Christmas requires embodying forgiveness, grace, and compassion, even toward those who seem undeserving. It is easy to extend kindness to those who are kind. It is easy to offer forgiveness to those who apologize. It is easy to show compassion to those who seem lovable. But the true test of whether the spirit of Christmas lives within us is how we treat those who do not meet our expectations, who fall short, who hurt us, who fail us. Well, the message of Christmas is not about convenience, it is about sacrifice. It is about choosing to reflect the love that heaven showed us, even when our humanity cries out for revenge or withdrawal. Forgiveness is not natural, it is supernatural. It requires a strength that does not originate in the flesh, but flows from the Spirit. Forgiveness is not a denial of the hurt. It is not excusing the wrongdoing. It is not pretending that betrayal did not cut deep. Forgiveness acknowledges the pain, acknowledges the injustice, but chooses to release the offender anyway. It chooses to let go of the chains that resentment would place around our souls. It chooses freedom over bondage, peace over bitterness, restoration over destruction. Living out Christmas means we choose forgiveness even when the offender is not sorry, even when they continue in their ways, even when they mock our mercy. We forgive not because they deserve it, but because we have been forgiven much ourselves. We extend what has been extended to us. Forgiveness is not about them, it is about us. It is about guarding our hearts from becoming hardened and cynical. It is about keeping our spirits free and our lives aligned with heaven's design. Grace is the twin sister of forgiveness. Where forgiveness releases a debt, grace offers a gift. Grace steps beyond the offense and says, I will bless you anyway. Grace says, I will see you through the eyes of hope, not through the eyes of your failures. Grace does not ignore justice, but it tempers it with mercy. Grace says, even though you have wounded me, I will not allow that wound to define who you are in my sight. Grace looks for the gold buried beneath the rubble of broken behavior. To live out the message of Christmas, we must become people of grace. We must choose to believe in the possibility of transformation even when the evidence is scarce. We must be willing to invest hope in others even when they seem hopeless. Grace requires risk. It requires vulnerability. It requires a heart that is not guarded by walls of fear, but protected by a fortress of love. Compassion is the posture that undergirds forgiveness and grace. Compassion chooses to see beyond actions to the brokenness that often fuels them. Compassion asks, what pain might have produced this behavior? Compassion does not excuse wrongdoing, but it understands that every human soul carries wounds, fears, and scars. Compassion moves us from judgment to empathy. It reminds us that we too are in need of mercy. It humbles us to recognize that but for the grace of God, we could be the ones in need of forgiveness today. Christmas calls us to live with radical compassion, to feel deeply, to care relentlessly, to act selflessly. It calls us to inconvenience ourselves for the sake of love. It calls us to weep with those who weep, to rejoice with those who rejoice, to walk with those who wander. Compassion does not stand at a distance. It draws near. It does not criticize. It comforts. It does not label. It lifts. Forgiveness, grace, and compassion are not seasonal decorations to be displayed in December and packed away in January. They are meant to be the permanent garments of our lives. They are not reserved for the deserving few, but extended to all, especially to the undeserving. Because in truth, none of us could stand if not for the forgiveness, grace, and compassion that have been lavished upon us. Living out the message of Christmas demands that we love without limits, give without expecting in return, and hope without fear of disappointment. It demands that we risk being misunderstood, taken advantage of, or rejected. It demands that we live from a higher place, a deeper well, a stronger foundation than the shifting sands of human approval. It is easy to love those who love us back. It is easy to be kind to those who reciprocate. But the power of Christmas is revealed when we bless those who curse us, when we pray for those who spitefully use us, when we refuse to mirror the darkness around us and instead shine with the light within us. Forgiveness means we refuse to be captives of the offenses of others. We refuse to live shackled to the past. We refuse to allow bitterness to write our story. We forgive not to minimize the wrong, but to maximize the healing. We forgive to move forward, to rise higher, to live free. Grace means we give more than what is deserved. We lavish kindness where it is least expected. We surprise the world with generosity of spirit. We offer a different narrative, a different ending, a different possibility. Grace says, you may have fallen, but I see your potential to rise. Compassion means we stay tender in a world that tells us to toughen up. It means we stay open in a world that tells us to close off. It means we stay vulnerable in a world that tells us to armor up. Compassion is the evidence that love still reigns, that hope still breathes, that redemption is still possible. The message of Christmas is not comfortable. It is confrontational. It confronts our pride, our selfishness, our tendency to hold grudges and seek revenge. It calls us to a higher standard, a nobler way. It calls us to embody the very character of the one who came, not to condemn the world, but to save it. Christmas is not about perfection, it is about redemption. It is not about performance, it is about presence. It is not about appearances, it is about authenticity. It is about choosing love over fear, mercy over judgment, healing over hurt. When we embody forgiveness, grace, and compassion, we become living testimonies of the Christmas story. We become vessels of the same love that broke into a broken world and brought the hope of restoration. We become lights in the darkness, beacons of hope, carriers of joy. We will be misunderstood. We will be taken advantage of. We will be hurt, but we will also see miracles. We will see hardened hearts soften. We will see broken relationships mended. We will see hopeless situations turn around, because love never fails. Forgiveness never loses. Grace never runs dry. Compassion never returns void. To live the message of Christmas is to live a life of relentless love. It is to believe that redemption is always possible. It is to refuse to give up on people even when the world writes them off. It is to see with the eyes of faith, not the eyes of flesh. The world needs more than another Christmas tree, another gift, another festive meal. The world needs living, breathing examples of what it means to love without limits, to forgive without conditions, to hope without ceasing. You are called to be that example. You are called to live out the message of Christmas, not just with your words, but with your life. You are called to carry the spirit of Christmas into every interaction, every relationship, every decision. Forgiveness, grace, and compassion are not weaknesses. They are the greatest strengths a human soul can possess. They are the marks of maturity, the evidence of divine DNA, the fingerprints of heaven on earth. Living out Christmas is not about sentimentality, it is about sacrificial love. It is about showing up when it's hard, giving when it costs, loving when it hurts, hoping when it seems foolish. It is about trusting that in the end, love will win. Light will overcome darkness, and redemption will have the final word. This Christmas, let forgiveness be your gift. Let grace be your offering. Let compassion be your anthem. Let your life be a living nativity where the love of heaven is birthed anew every day through your words, your actions, your heart. You have been forgiven much. Now forgive. You have been given grace. Now give grace. You have been shown compassion. Now show compassion. Do not let the message of Christmas stay trapped in a manger scene or a carol lyric. Let it live in you. Let it breathe through you. Let it transform you and everyone you encounter. The spirit of Christmas is the spirit of extravagant love, of radical forgiveness, of unstoppable grace. It is the spirit that says you are loved, you are valued, you are redeemed. It is the spirit that invites every wounded soul into healing, every lost soul into belonging, every hardened heart into softness. Living out the message of Christmas will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it, because in the end, the greatest legacy we can leave is the love we lived, the grace we gave, the compassion we embodied. Every day is an opportunity to live the message of Christmas. Every moment is a chance to extend forgiveness, to offer grace, to embody compassion. Every act of love, no matter how small, pushes back the darkness and ushers in the light. This is the calling, this is the invitation, this is the mission, to live out Christmas not once a year but every day, not in word only but in deed, not for show but for real. Let your life be the message, let your love be the proof, let your forgiveness be the testimony, let your compassion be the evidence. The world is watching, heaven is cheering, love is waiting. The power of love transforms individuals, communities, and nations, making it the ultimate evidence of a life connected to God's plan. Love is not a weak sentiment, nor is it an occasional emotion we feel toward those who treat us well. Love is the most powerful force in existence because it originates from the very heart of God. When love is present, broken things are mended. When love reigns, division bows. When love moves, even the hardest hearts can be softened, and even the most impossible situations can be reversed. True love is not just a feeling, it is a commitment to act in ways that reflect the divine nature. It is choosing patience when anger is easier. It is extending kindness when indifference would be more comfortable. It is sacrificing time, resources, and energy for the good of others, even when there is no immediate reward. Love compels us to think beyond ourselves. It enlarges our vision and stretches our soul. It teaches us that greatness is not measured by how much we acquire, but by how much we give. When love transforms an individual, you can see it in every aspect of their life. You can see it in the way they speak, the way they listen, the way they handle disappointment and success. A person touched by real love walks differently. They move through the world with a peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. They are not easily provoked because their security does not come from the validation of others. They are generous with forgiveness because they know what it means to have been forgiven much. They are unafraid to be vulnerable because they have anchored their worth in something greater than human opinion. The transformation that love brings is not temporary. It is not a surface adjustment, but a deep inner revolution. It reshapes priorities. It reorders values. It redefines identity. Love gives birth to humility, for it reminds us that we are recipients, not originators of every good thing. Love cultivates patience, for it teaches us that growth is often slow and unseen. Love establishes faithfulness, for it binds our hearts to a purpose greater than convenience. When love transforms a community, miracles happen. Walls that divided people for generations begin to crumble. Prejudices lose their grip. Hatred loses its voice. Suspicion gives way to trust. In a community where love reigns, generosity flows naturally. People look out for one another, not because they have to, but because they want to. They rejoice in each other's successes and lift each other in times of hardship. In a community touched by love, no one is left behind. The weak are protected, the marginalized are embraced, and the broken are restored. Love empowers communities to dream bigger. It emboldens them to tackle challenges that once seemed insurmountable. It ignites creativity because when fear is driven out, imagination flourishes. In a community of love, competition gives way to collaboration. Isolation is replaced by belonging. Cynicism is defeated by hope. But the power of love does not stop at the level of the individual or the community. Love has the power to transform entire nations. History bears witness to this truth. Movements that have reshaped societies for the better were fueled not by hatred or revenge, but by love. Love for justice, love for freedom, love for human dignity. Love is the force that inspired leaders to stand up against tyranny, to speak out against injustice, to fight for the rights of the oppressed. Nations built on love create systems that honor the inherent worth of every person. They protect the vulnerable, they pursue peace, they value truth. Love at the national level leads to policies that prioritize the common good over special interests. It leads to cultures where diversity is celebrated, not feared, where dialogue is encouraged, not suppressed, where reconciliation is pursued, not postponed. But love cannot be legislated. It must be lived. It must be cultivated in the hearts of individuals, nurtured in families, practiced in communities, and then allowed to ripple outward into the structures of society. When enough hearts are transformed by love, the nation itself will begin to change. It is slow work, often unglamorous, often resisted, but it is the only kind of change that lasts. Love is not just powerful, it is unstoppable. Darkness cannot extinguish it. Hatred cannot overpower it. Fear cannot outlast it. Love is eternal because it flows from an eternal source. When we connect our lives to God's plan, we become conduits of that love. We do not manufacture it. We reflect it. We do not own it. We steward it. To be connected to God's plan is to be committed to the way of love. Not just love for the easy to love, but love for the difficult, the broken, the antagonistic. It is easy to claim love as a concept, but real love is proven in the crucible of challenge. It is proven when we are wronged and must choose forgiveness. It is proven when we are rejected and must choose to remain open. It is proven when we are disappointed and must choose to keep hoping. The power of love is that it transforms not by force, but by invitation. Love never coerces. It never manipulates. It never threatens. Love stands at the door and knocks. It waits patiently to be received. It offers itself freely, but never imposes itself. In a world accustomed to dominance and control, the humility of love is its greatest power. Living a life connected to God's plan means being willing to love even when it is costly, even when it is misunderstood, even when it seems ineffective in the short term. It means trusting that every act of love sown into the soil of human hearts will eventually bear fruit, even if we do not live to see the harvest. The power of love transforms because it reflects the very nature of God. God is love. Not just that He loves, but that He is love. Love is not a part of His nature, it is His essence. When we love, we participate in the divine. We step into a flow that existed before time began and will continue after time ends. Love makes us powerful, not because it arms us with the tools of this world, but because it aligns us with the authority of heaven. Love disarms our enemies. It confounds our critics. It melts the hearts of the indifferent. It creates possibilities where there were only impossibilities. The evidence of a life connected to God's plan is not success by worldly standards. It is not accolades, wealth, or fame. The true evidence is love. Love that perseveres, love that sacrifices, love that uplifts, love that believes, love that heals, love that restores. The measure of our lives will not be how much we accumulated, but how much we loved. Did we love enough to forgive those who hurt us? Did we love enough to believe in those who others discarded? Did we love enough to risk our comfort for someone else's healing? Did we love enough to speak truth when silence would have been safer? Did we love enough to keep going when others gave up? Love transforms us from the inside out. It changes our ambitions, our priorities, our dreams. It changes how we see ourselves and how we see others. It frees us from the need to prove, to impress, to dominate. It invites us to live from a place of security, knowing we are deeply loved and therefore able to love without fear. Love is the ultimate legacy. Everything else will fade. Buildings will crumble. Money will lose its value. Achievements will be forgotten. But love leaves an imprint that outlasts time. Love, written on the hearts of people, will echo into eternity. If we want to change the world, we must love the world, not the broken systems or the corrupt structures, but the people within it. We must love the unlovable. We must believe in the redeemable. We must speak life where death has reigned. The love that transforms is not passive. It is active. It is not sentimental. It is sacrificial. It is not partial. It is complete. It does not wait for permission. It takes initiative. It does not calculate the risk. It embraces the call. You were created by love, for love, to love. The power of love resides within you because the Spirit of God resides within you. You are a carrier of the most transformative force in the universe. Every word you speak, every act you perform, every decision you make can either contribute to the kingdom of love or the kingdom of fear. Choose love. Let your life be a testament to the power of love. Let your relationships be saturated with love. Let your dreams be fueled by love. Let your influence be wielded by love. Do not settle for a life of safety and self-preservation. Live boldly in love. Risk greatly in love. Hope fiercely in love. The world is desperate for real love. Not the counterfeit versions peddled by culture, but the love that sacrifices, that believes, that endures. You are called to be a bearer of that love. You are called to be a reflection of the love that left heaven to rescue earth. Every time you choose love over fear, heaven rejoices. Every time you forgive an offense, you participate in the divine. Every time you offer grace to the undeserving, you mirror the heart of God. Every time you act in compassion, you advance the kingdom. The power of love is not just the key to personal fulfillment, it is the catalyst for global transformation. It is the blueprint for revival. It is the strategy for reconciliation. It is the answer to the deepest cries of the human heart. Walk in love, speak in love, dream in love, lead in love, serve in love, correct in love, heal in love, create in love, live in love. And when you have loved beyond your natural capacity, when you have exhausted your own resources, you will find that the river of divine love within you has only just begun to flow. Love never runs dry. Love never gives up. Love never fails. Love is the evidence that we have touched eternity. Love is the testimony that God is still working in and through us. The power of love transforms, and it begins with you. Let it begin today. Let it begin now.